Now we're going to bring you an update on what's happening in the world of business, and for that, joined here on set by Caris Garlow. And she's going to start our engines, in fact, right at the start. The Munich Motor Show getting underway this Monday, but it won't be European car makers in the spotlight, will it?
No, in fact, Europe's car makers have actually been struggling to keep up with the electric vehicle market, and the IAA Motor Show in Munich is set to be no different. According to event organisers, 41% of those exhibiting will be Asian companies, including battery makers like LG and Samsung. The number of Chinese companies has more than doubled, and they have their sights set on that European electric market. The locals are still making an effort, though. Over the weekend, Mercedes and BMW made their biggest EV push yet. BMW unveiled its Vision New class, featuring the company's new architecture for EVs, while Mercedes took the wraps off its concept CLA class. Industry experts say it's been designed to appeal to its core customers as the whole industry transitions to electric. Let's take a listen.
So I think what you've seen sort of with the first things is Mercedes sort of not necessarily leading, but because they don't necessarily feel they have to, they're sort of trying to find the right balance. But I think what we've seen in recent years with Mercedes and with some other car firms is that they're really now picking the technologies that they think are going to be sort of really important for the future.
Let's move on to the facts and figures now. Caris is going to take us through the markets.
That's right. So in Europe, the major indices have opened higher. London's FTSE 100 is up 0.5%. The Paris CAC 40 nearly 0.5% as well, while the Frankfurt DAX has added 0.33%. Meanwhile, Asian shares were trading higher this Monday, the Shanghai Composite adding 1.4%, and the Hang Seng leading gains up 2.4%, and that included a spike in the share price of Chinese property developer Country Garden after creditors agreed over the weekend to restructure debt repayments. The stock up nearly 17% there.
Now, back here to France, and the French food bank Restos du Cœur has been ringing alarm bells for a while now about financial difficulties, and now the government has actually stepped in to help, hasn't it?
On Sunday night, the French Solidarity Minister pledged 15 million euros to help the charity, which says it's in the red due to a very significant rise in the number of beneficiaries, plus an increase in operating costs due to inflation. The president of Restos du Cœur announced it would have to reduce the number of people it serves this winter, estimating 150,000 people would be affected. Leah McGuinn has more.
A lifeline for one of France's leading charities. After numerous appeals for financial aid, Les Restos du Cœur finally got their wish on Sunday. Speaking on French television, Minister Aurore Berger pledged 15 million euros to the organisation.
We're going to help Restos du Cœur by putting 15 million euros on the table to help them get through this period and to ensure that the most disadvantaged French people are supported.
The promise came as a response to Restos du Cœur saying that they would have to reduce their number of beneficiaries due to financial difficulties. The charity currently provides 35% of food aid in France. They handed out 140 million meals last year, a number which is expected to jump by 30 million in 2023.
What we're seeing this year is a very significant increase in the number of people we welcome. We're already up 37% on last year.
It sparked concern for those who rely on the aid to live, struggling to cope with rising prices.
With inflation, everything's turned upside down. We can't eat normally anymore. Sometimes we even deprive ourselves of our midday meal. If we manage to have breakfast in the morning, we can't have lunch at noon, so we wait until the evening.
Inflation has skyrocketed in France over the last few years, with supermarket shelves being hit particularly hard. Food inflation is currently at 11.1%, nearly twice the overall inflation rate.
Now, Australia's national airline has apologised. This is after being sued by the country's competition regulator.
That's right. The ACCC is accusing Qantas of selling 8,000 tickets for flights last year without disclosing that they'd actually been cancelled. The head of the consumer watchdog says the carrier should be hit with a record penalty, more than 200 million Australian dollars. According to the regulator, the carrier cancelled the flights for reasons well within its control and continued selling seats up to 47 days after the flight had been scrapped. Qantas apologised in a statement saying, "We want the community to know that we hear and understand their disappointment. We know that the only way to fix this is by delivering consistently."
Yes, certainly missed a few, didn't they?
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Carys Garland with the business news here on France 24. Now, have you